So Justin obviously has some problems, and we got some insight into his life recently. Okay, so Bieber's documentary is very much adequate. That's for my tickers and my talkers out there. Yeah. Okay, so I watched the first episode of his new documentary, Seasons, on YouTube. On YouTube Premium, by the way, which I did not know that I had until I got the email confirmation that your payment has been accepted. And I was like, well, that's great for you. What the fuck is YouTube Premium? Anywhoosies, it's a thrilling 11 minutes. And I have a few points about it, obviously. So the first couple of minutes, they show this compilation of shows that his concerts, right, during his Purpose tour. And I think it's not a mistake that they started the first episode of the series with Justin in a glass box, right? So he's above the crowd, he's in a glass box, and it's every city. It's London, Miami, Cleveland, you know? And immediately I was like, okay, I see what's happening. I see the narrative that they're trying to build, and Christina Aguilera did it better in the Fighter video, but that's just me, And it was 11 minutes of him driving in the car. And they don't really this documentary doesn't really tell you anything new. It's everything that we already know. And it's very, definitely 100% surface level, And just because we saw your childhood home and we went to that spot in Ontario, right? In Ontario, where you used to perform for people, is not vulnerable. It's not anything new. You know what I mean? And the interviews that they did with people, they did his manager and Scooty, and they were designed to feel intimate, like you're getting a peek behind the curtain. But they were just oh, Justin Bieber told me he didn't want to perform anymore. Cut back to 11 minutes of him, more minutes of him driving, and then cutting back to, and that really scared me because it's his favorite thing to do, back to Justin Bieber in the car. It was whatever. And Hailey Bieber looks gorgeous. She looks so pretty in this documentary. Seriously, she is so fucking pretty. But one thing that really stuck out to me is that in the 405 minutes, he's in the back of a car, and they're listening to this song that has definite potential for Subway shoulders. But you gave us Yummy? You gave us Yummy? You fed us Yummy? When we could have had that song? And he loved it. He's like, imagine my drums on this. I'm like, I can't imagine. Just give us the song. Don't take your time with it. Don't be Rihanna. So another thing that they touch on is how he kind of burned out, right? And he canceled his tour. And the first thing I thought about when they were talking about how he canceled his tour was oh my God, if I was a 14-year-old girl in Miami and I was going to the Justin Bieber concert and he canceled, I would be crushed. I'd be crushed. But then I thought, okay, Tefi, but wait. And I was like, okay, Tefi, tell me. And it was okay, she said, I'm losing it. My name is Stephanie Pessoa. I live in Brooklyn. Okay, just kidding. So I thought about it too, okay, Tefi, valid, that would have been crushing, right, to cancel your tour. But I come to the building, the same building every day, 7:30, I leave around 3 or 4. I get home to the same apartment. I'm beyond tired, I do this show live every day, traveling from the same apartment to the same building, and it's exhausting. So I cannot imagine Justin Bieber, how tired that must have been. Yesterday we had a production meeting with the team, talking about scheduling and some changes that we want to make. And I was like, whoa. Starting to sound like I'm not gonna have time for my nap, and that's not okay with me. You know what I mean? So for Justin Bieber, it was 100 live shows, traveling, not even knowing what city you're in, waking up not knowing what city you're in, being in a different hotel room every day. It must be very isolating, very lonely. Even though you're surrounded by thousands of people who say that they love you, it for sure takes a toll on you. And I was thinking about this, and then Molly Ray, producing, and Kim Reddy let me know that he uploaded something to Instagram yesterday, and God damn it, I am good. Okay, wait. Let's begin. from the top. Just fucking kidding. I am not gonna read all of that. Absolutely not. Who has the time? So we cut out some key parts, some parts that we felt were key, right? So I went from a 13-year-old boy from a small town to being praised left and right by the world with millions saying how much they loved me and how great it was. I don't know about you, but humility comes with age. You hear these things enough as a young boy and you actually start believing it. Rationality comes with age, and so does your decision-making process. Interesting. Next. I started doing pretty heavy drugs at 19 and abused all of my relationships. Abused. I became resentful, disrespectful to women, and angry. I became distant to everyone who loved me. I was hiding behind a shell. The comma doesn't belong there, but I'm moving on. A shell of a person that I had become. I felt like I could never turn it around. It's taken me years to bounce back from all these terrible decisions, fix broken relationships, and change relationship habits. That's what I said. That's what I fucking said. Guys, acceptance and awareness is wonderful, and I wish that for everyone. But the worst part about this, and sometimes having to face the things that you have done, said, is that you have to accept that you have hurt other people in this process. You know what I mean? Of bettering yourself. And he's owning it, and he's doing it. So props to Justin Bieber. And like I said, our sweetie angel Hailey Bieber is in the documentary. And guys, while she looks beautiful, you know, she kind of looks a little depleted and concerned. And I get this feeling that she's on edge a lot. I think that she spends a lot of her life now with him just trying to make him happy and walking on eggshells around her own husband. I cannot believe that she married him. Yeah. I will never get over it. But they cut, like, in the documentary, they, like, suddenly cut to her. You know, like, he's like, talking, whatever, they show a bit of the studio, whatever, and it suddenly cuts to her, and she starts, I love to see him do what he loves. And I'm like, immediately, I was like, Hailey, I get the feeling that you're not passionate about modeling, that you're just, like, that you were approached with modeling, but you weren't like, I want to be a fucking model. I get that feeling, you know, and I think that what you are passionate about is taking care of others around you. I'm not going to say that she's a Sagittarius. And while that is sweet, and while it's important to be empathetic, you know, you gotta think, side note, you gotta think about your cup. If you're putting all of the water in your cup into somebody else's cup, but they're not in a place in their life, or they're too sick to give you anything back, that takes a lot out of you. And I think he has a lot of pain and anxiety, and I think he truly is just burnt the fuck out, and he puts it on other people. For sure. And like Hailey, Selena, I can see a lot of similarities between them. And I think Justin has a type, and that type is a parent. I think he wants a mom. And I'm just gonna say it. I get a lot of white teenage boy punching a wall energy from Justin Bieber. I get a lot of it. And then when he punches it, he goes, look what you made me do. I'm like, you look fucking psychotic, Tyler. Whatever. So I can totally envision Justin Bieber exploding. You know what I mean? I can see him being like really, really high, and then being really, really, really low. And I think depression 100%, of course, affects everyone differently. But I'm an avoider. When I'm going through it, I'm an avoider. And I see another avoider when I see one. I see what I see when I see it, you know? Like, and he did take that 2-year little break, the little brequecito, you know, and like I also took about 1.5 year break, and something similar where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I started this whole life exploration thing without any kind of direction, any kind of structure. And that shit drives you a little fucking nuts. You know what I mean? I compare it to like when you're working in a toll. I have never worked a toll. But like when you're in a toll booth and there's cars passing by you, it kind of feels like life is happening to everybody, and you start to get those kind of guilt and anxieties about like, oh, if I just kept going, I'd be here. But your body needs rest, but you should be working, you know what I mean? Like, or that kind of guilt when you skip school when you're sick, and because you didn't want it sick, but you didn't want to take a test. And then 2 p.m. rolls around, you're like, oh, I would have been in science. I should have just taken that test. Like that kind of shit. you know? And I think that you still need structure when you're taking these breaks for anybody out there. You still need direction. And I just think it's crazy that he took this break after his album was literally called Purpose. And I feel like he's always on this road to find himself in these like definites, like I am this and that's it. And then he evolves and like throws him off. You know what I mean? And like everyone needs breaks. Everyone needs breaks, you know what I mean? And it's obvious that Justin Bieber has a lot of demons to tackle still. And I feel for Justin Bieber. I do feel for Justin Bieber, of course. I'm a human and I'm a water sign. But guys, I do fear a little bit for Hailey, because I fear like I don't want her to become like Selena, to go through what Selena went through, adopt a lot of Justin Bieber, you know, like become more like Justin Bieber. And I said this in the writer's room, and Kim Righty looked at me and said, oh my God, do you think she's gonna release shitty new music? We'll be right back after this. That's my show. It's live weekdays at 12:30 p.m.